You know, we often think about the internet in terms of huge computers and massive data centers. But what if I told you the future of the internet is actually tiny? Today, we're going to dive into the clever little protocol that's making a giant Internet of Things possible. We've all heard the buzz about the Internet of Things, right? The IoT. It's this vision of a future where billions of tiny devices are all connected, all talking to each other. Your home anticipates your needs. Cities run themselves more efficiently. It's a huge, exciting idea. But here's the catch. The big wall you hit almost immediately? The Internet. It was built for powerful computers plugged into the wall. It was not designed for tiny sensors that need to run for years on a single little battery. They don't speak the same language at all. So what do? So yeah, how do we bridge that gap? Well, before we can get to the solution, we really have to wrap our heads around the problem. And it really truly all comes down to a problem of size.
Okay, this slide just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have the internet's main language, IPv6. Its messages, or packets, have to be at least 1,280 bytes. But on the other side, the little radios in these tiny IoT devices can only handle a message or frame of 127 bytes. It is literally like trying to shove a semi-truck through a mail slot. It just doesn't fit. It's a fundamental mismatch. And this is where our hero, this really clever protocol, comes onto the scene. It's called 6LoWPAN. And you should think of it less like a brand new language and more like a brilliant universal translator.
That name, 6LoWPAN, it's a bit of a mouthful. It stands for IPv6 over low-power wireless personal area networks. And the absolute genius of it is that it's an adaptation layer. It doesn't try to change the message, it just cleverly reformats it. It's the bridge that connects the big internet with all these tiny devices.
Let me put it another way. The network layer, that's IPv6, is like the global postal service. It handles big packages. The data link layer, the tiny radio, is like a local bike messenger who can only carry, small envelopes. 6LoWPAN is the person in the mailroom who knows exactly how to break down the big package into a bunch of small envelopes that the bike messenger can handle. So how does this mailroom clerk actually pull it off? How does it work its magic? Well, 6LoWPAN basically has three very clever tricks up its sleeve. Okay, first up, header compression. This was like getting rid of all the bulky packaging. A normal IPv6 address label, the header, is 40 bytes. That's huge. 6LoWPAN is smart enough to shrink that all the way down to just 2 bytes by cutting out info that can be figured out some other way. Then, trick number 2, fragmentation. This is where it actually breaks the big message down into tiny pieces that'll fit through that mail slot. And finally, mesh addressing. This is super cool. It's like giving each little piece of the message directions so they can be passed from one device to another within the local network before they all get put back together perfectly at the end. All right, so that's how it works for a single message, but let's zoom out a bit. What does an entire 6LoWPAN network actually look like in the real world?
You basically have 3 main players. First, and this is the most important one, is the edge router. Think of it as the gateway, the bouncer, the main translator that connects the little 6LoWPAN network to the big, wide internet. Then you've got other routers inside that little network, and their job is just to pass messages along between devices. And finally, you have the hosts. These are the end devices themselves, the actual sensors and light bulbs and what have you. They can go to sleep for months or even years to save power, which is absolutely key.
So this all sounds pretty smart, but why did this specific solution take off? I mean, why not just invent a whole new internet for tiny things? I love this quote because it just gets to the heart of it. The world had already built this incredibly robust, scalable, and universal system called the Internet Protocol, or IP. The creators of 6LoWPAN had this brilliant insight. It's so much smarter to just adapt that proven system instead of trying to reinvent the wheel. And because they did that, it means all these different devices can actually talk to each other, and the whole system is built on a solid, future-proof foundation. And this idea really caught on fast. Back in 2005, the group that basically sets the rules for the internet, the IETF, officially started the 6LoWPAN working group. Just 2 years later, it was a published standard, and by 2014, it was chosen as the foundation for the Thread group. That's the smart home standard backed by giants like Google, Apple, and Amazon. It went from idea to industry standard pretty quickly.
And that's exactly why this matters so much to you and me today. If you've heard about these new smart home standards like Thread and Matter, the ones that promise to finally make all our smart devices play nicely together, well, you're looking at tech that is built directly on top of 6LoWPAN. It's the invisible, unsung hero holding it all up.
And that invisible foundation, it's already everywhere. It's in the smart meters from the power company that help manage the grid. It's in factories with industrial sensors preventing breakdowns. It's even in our cities controlling smart streetlights to save energy and make things safer. It's even out in the fields helping farmers use less water. It's truly all around us. Of course, it's not all smooth sailing. Connecting billions, and I mean billions, of new devices to the internet comes with some pretty serious risks. As we build this incredible new world, we're also creating a whole new set of challenges. I mean, just look at the scale we're talking about. A few years ago, the projection was 50 billion connected devices. Whether we've hit that exact number or not, the point is it's an explosion of connectivity unlike anything we've ever seen before.
And here's the scary part. Every single one of those connections is a potential new way for an attacker to get in. Every smart thermostat, every sensor in a factory, every connected car, it's a new door. And that's why security has become the #1 challenge for the entire Internet of Things.
You see, 6LoWPAN itself, that clever adaptation layer, it doesn't actually have security built in. It has to rely on other layers of technology to do the protecting. And that process of fragmentation, of breaking packets into smaller pieces, well, that can actually open up new, unique vulnerabilities for attackers. And it all comes back to this. How do you add really strong security to a tiny device that barely has any processing power or memory to spare? It's a really complex problem.
So in the end, 6LoWPAN really is the unsung hero of the IoT. It's this elegant, tiny translator that's making this whole connected world possible. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the smartest solution isn't to reinvent everything, but to cleverly adapt what already works. But it leaves us with a huge question as we move forward. Now that we have this incredible power to connect everything, what are we going to build? And how on earth are we going to make sure that our new connected world is also a safe one?